Bosa is bringing us her interview with the CEO of Lyft, reflecting as he approaches his first 100 days in office. Hi, Dee.
You know, Tyler, the competition in ride-sharing, it used to be extremely fierce. The stuff of books and TV series. I well remember myself covering that hashtag Delete Uber campaign that saw Lyft capture more market share that eventually led to the ouster of Travis Kalanick as CEO. These days, however, the competition feels a lot less fierce, to the point where I asked Lyft's still relatively new CEO, David Risher, if they're still in competition. Here's what he said.
No, we're in competition with Uber. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Look, being number two is not a terrible thing. Pepsi's a pretty big business, you know what I mean? So you can have a great business and be number two. Over time, I hope we do such a good job that, our positions switch places, but that's not really the goal. The goal is better every single day for riders and drivers, and the better we do, the more our share will go up.
So Coke and Pepsi, Uber and Lyft, two dominant, one more dominant than the other, pretty interchangeable players. Risher, guys, said that he hopes consumers can have both apps on their phone. Uber now, here's the irony of it, they probably need Lyft as a quiet, smaller number two, so it can continue to gain market share and be that dominant player without all the regulatory scrutiny. But, and this was an interesting point I thought that Mike Santoli brought up in our chat earlier, Intel and AMD used to have a similar dynamic, with AMD the smaller, unthreatening player until all of a sudden it wasn't. So this has been quite a long journey. It will continue, but we're at sort of this lull in the ride-sharing space where these companies, remember, raised billions and billions of dollars. In the case of Lyft, more than $7 billion, and its market cap is less than $5 billion now. So it hasn't exactly rewarded investors, but certainly consumers, you could say, have benefited.
One that I like to look at, Deirdre, and you might appreciate this, is Marriott versus Airbnb. Last year, Marriott vastly outperformed the vacation rental operator, but this year, Airbnb's up 70%. But when you look at Uber versus Lyft, clearly Uber is winning the race. What else does Lyft need to do to convince investors that it's got the right growth plan in place?
I mean, I don't know that they want to diversify and make any big changes in the way that Uber went into food delivery. What you hear from David Risher, what you see from the team is really just focusing on that core. They don't want to diversify. They want to focus on ride sharing. And I guess it raises the question, how much can this company be worth? Remember, it IPO'd at 72, I think, or $76 a share. It's now trading, I think, below $10 a share. So it's been quite a come down. Even Uber has only recently surpassed its IPO price. So it's this question that I always raise: are these really disruptive, innovative companies, or are they kind of utilities that will create value over time, but may not be as disruptive as the VC world in particular once thought they would be?
He said, among other things, that he has to compete every day and get better every day. There are lots of ways that Lyft can and does compete. Quality of service, timeliness, cleanliness of the cars, so on and so on. But the other one would be price. Did you get a sense from him that on those metrics of competition, that one is more important than another? In other words, that he's going to emphasize lower price over other things?
This is a really important point for Wall Street, because when he came in and I sat down with him right when that announcement hit, when he was going to take over for the founders, one of the first things I asked him is, there going to be another price war? And he said, essentially, we're going to compete on price. But now, 100 days on, I asked him, do you continue to do that? Because that has won them a few points of market share. He says they're going to compete on other things, like what you were talking about, Tyler, product stuff, ways that they do airport pickups. But we're going to be talking, you're going to hear a lot more from him. So tune into that Tech Check special edition. That's tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PT, and we'll go more into his strategy and how he plans to take on Uber, or just how he's thinking about this space in general.
Looking forward to it.
Great, Deirdre. See you then.